Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your podcast show. Your Fanatics called in, so it's your opportunity to call in and have a conversation with me. Today, I'm going to be here alone with you guys on this podcast episode, just to chat with you guys and see what you guys have to say in the comment section. Everybody had prior arrangements, so today we're going to just be talking to you guys, and I enjoy these streams a lot because I get to hear all of the comment sections and everything that you have to say, and I can engage with you guys one on one, and you can ask me some questions. I want to know how your weekend went. How did what did you guys do for this weekend? Obviously, you're here with me now tonight, but what did you do for the rest of the weekend? Let me know. Did you have some nice Sunday lunch, or did you go out on Saturday, or as much as you can during this whole pandemic situation? What sort of things did you do? I know for me personally, I went for a couple of hikes. I've been started playing Pokemon Go again, which is something different. I don't know how many of you guys are playing that particular game, but I've been, since I had it back in when it opened up, when it started, I think around about 2015, 2016. My whole aim was to get a Charizard, and today I've managed to evolve into a Charizard. So I'm very happy about that, very chuffed about that. Let's get into the conversation, though. Before we get going, though, I just want you guys to know what to do. You guys have to subscribe to this channel, click that notification bell for all future videos. Don't forget to obviously click that like, click that subscribe, smash that like button. In fact, get your comments in the comment section, and we can get going. Bad Panda saying he's a Liverpool fan. Khalid, please help. Yeah, it's tough because I don't like to see teams suffer. The only team I really like to watch suffer are the teams that splurge cash. Sorry, guys that just use money to solve all their problems. So I'm not a big fan of City, of course. Liverpool is a massive rival, yes, and I love to beat you guys as being Manchester United. I love obviously to get the edge against you guys and win, but I don't have any hatred for all of you. There are some fans that take it too far. There are always going to be that's always going to be the case. Or whenever they lose, they can't help but mention Man United, even though they're the ones that lost. It's crazy. I've seen it all over social media, etc. And it's always having a go at United instead of just focusing on your own club. Come on, guys, focus on your own club. I mean, United aren't in the best of form at the moment either. I think that we threw a massive opportunity away to challenge for that title. And now we're sitting here in a situation where we can't really do anything about that. All we can do is compete as much as we can. Khalid, I saw your music video uploaded by your dad to your channel. Yeah, that's not really the music video. That was just a video that I played. My friend actually recorded that. He just said I should record it and put it on YouTube. I was very young then. I think I was 17 or 18 years old. Or maybe you did see my music video. I'm not 100% sure if that is also on my channel as well. Updated by my dad's channel. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. But yeah, my music video is on my personal channel if you want to see it. Yeah, that's just some random things. Obviously, I was massive into music. I'm a singer-songwriter as well. I play the guitar and I write my own music. It was a career path that I was hoping to go into someday. Money obviously stops you from going independent. You kind of need money to keep going. So I needed to open up a business and start something so that I can obviously start creating music again, because I love creating music. That's one of my passions. What about Wolverhampton Wanderers? Yeah, so Wolverhampton, I think they are a team. Wolves are a team. Wolves are a team that I feel are. How can I explain this? I think they losing out on having their main striker over there. I think they really suffered not having Jimenez in their side. They're kind of team that is hot and cold. They play on form. And I think all teams do, but I mean, they're struggling a little bit. I think the loss to Jimenez at front was just a pivot at the top of their team that just kept the game flowing. But besides that, let's get into today's topic and let's get into today's discussions. If you guys want to call in on the show, I did post the StreamYard link for you guys to click on and join the show. You can have a go. It's in live chat right now. I'm going to be turning on the super chat if you want to support me. Please do so. It's the bottom left-hand corner is the $sign. So let's get into the conversation. I think majority of you have been talking about who should replace Faf du Plessis. Now that Faf du Plessis has retired, it opens up a massive gap. I always thought that if Faf leaves, it's not one gap that's open. I feel it's two gaps that are open. Because for now, I think Rassie van der Dussen in that particular lineup, I made a little graphic for you to show you what it looks like without Faf. Right now, we are maybe looking at the number 3 position that is missing. But I feel that Rassie van der Dussen as well is a space over there that we can maybe change. If we're going to go for a rebuild with this particular core squad, I don't see Rassie maybe fitting into the rebuild phase. But I love Rassie van der Dussen, and I think he deserves his opportunity over there, and he deserves his position there. It's not like he got his position without merit. He definitely earned that spot. But I feel that now that Faf is gone, it's an opportunity to maybe put 2 new guys into the squad, 2 young guys into the squad, and maybe put someone at 3, and then maybe move Temba up to 4, and then place that new guy at maybe number 5. Now, there are plenty of opportunities for different guys. I think in the number 3 position, we've tried Zubair Hamza there, who I still believe deserves a spot in that number 3 side. I mean, I still believe that Zubair Hamza deserves another try in that number 3 spot. Then you get a guy like Keegan Peterson, who's been around in the squad, who I think based on the last couple of seasons, if you look over the last 5 seasons or so, his stats prove that he needs to be there. So if I have to go with right now and pick a person for that number 3 spot, I will give a debut to Keegan Peterson. That would be my first choice. Now, if you want to look a little bit into the future, Reinhard van Tonder is a future captain too, I feel. An excellent player, excellent mentality, excellent caliber of player. And I really would like to also see him get an opportunity. And now that Faf is gone, there's literally no experience in the side besides Dean Elgar. So currently you have a fresh new test side. You might as well go all in and go all fresh and then open up 2 batting positions and play Keegan Peterson and Reinhard van Tonder, and then give Temba more responsibility, give Quinton more responsibility, and then have a guy like Reinhard coming in at number 5 or number 6. Lower down in the order where you can get used to the game, used to the flow. Pick a young captain like Aiden Markram, and let's just believe in the side and give them the biggest run possible that they can towards the end. That's what I think is the right choice to do. I think that Keegan, if you're going to keep Rassie, then Keegan gets the opportunity. I won't try Reinhard at this particular stage if there's only one spot available. I would, because I think that Keegan can come into the side and pass on his experience in domestic game and also with SAA. And he's been in and around the test side already. So right now, the safer option would be Keegan Peterson, and I think it would be the correct option to replace Faf right now in that particular squad. So I want to know what you guys have to say. Let's see what you guys have to say in the comment section. Bad Panda saying, Khalid, I think if we can find top order batsmen that can bat 3 and 4, which can average 45 plus, that would solve so many issues. It's crazy. Now, the only way you know that is by putting in guys that are already averaging at a domestic level. So Keegan is, and Reinhard van Tonder is as well. So that is the correct option. And Hamza as well is doing the same thing. Now, I think Hamza was a little bit hard done by. I think he needed an extended run in the side. I think it was very unfair to drop him at the point that he did. I mean, he played against the best bowling attack, one of the best bowling attacks in the world in England, and he didn't do it so well over there, and they dropped him. I think he needed an extended run with the side. I think he needed an opportunity to play in the subcontinent. especially in Pakistan. He did well with Pakistan, came down here, and he did well in India. So I think that he deserved a spot around it. I don't think giving a youngster an opportunity, only 2-3 games or 5 games, 6 games is enough. You need to give him a prolonged run. There's also a guy, Tianis the Brain, that has been putting up his hand as well consistently over the last couple of years. It's just at the international level that he hasn't really turned on and found his consistency. Tech saying Grant Rulerson is the answer. So if you bring in Grant Rulerson, where are you going to bat him? Bat him down the order decks? Are you going to put him up, let him open up the batting and drop someone like Dean Algo or Aiden Markham? What are you going to do over there? Where are you going to play Grant Rulerson? And that's what I would like to know. I think Reinhard van Tonder will be perfect. Reinhard, for me as well, I said, but I think right now in this particular squad, it won't do any harm to Reinhard if he gets another season at domestic level. Gets to play in all the conditions. So, for example, gets to play again at Durban. I would like to see him score a century. Maybe get an opportunity to play his first game at Newlands because he hasn't had an opportunity to do so yet. And let him play more games at the Wanderers and Centurion and those other players around the grounds. I mean, obviously, we know in Bloemfontein he's phenomenal. He has an amazing record there. But we want him to see him do it more often in everywhere else as well. I think he only has a 60 in Durban, so we would like to see him do more there. Reinhard is an unbelievable player, unbelievable mentality. He's a fight in him. Really, I think he's a future captain. I think the way he is, the way he conducts himself, so respect, humility, self-confidence, the perfect balance between that. So Reinhard is also another opportunity, but I think Reinhard deserves to, if we drop 2 people in this particular squad, then I would give Reinhard an opportunity. I think with only 1 available, I think the best option will probably be to play Peterson. If Rasigi hasn't cemented his place, then Temba also hasn't. That is true too. I guess look, Temba was very good against Pakistan, I have to admit. I think he batted excellently there. So he really showed that he can take the responsibility. I think he should take more responsibility and bat more high up in the order and actually try and convert more of those 50s and have opportunities to convert those 50s into 100s a lot more often. I think if he gets more opportunities to do so, he will naturally do so. I'm hoping so. And that's what I'm hoping that will happen in cricket, where you get more opportunities to be in that situation. There was a particular thought process. I can't remember who actually told me this. And I'm sorry to the person that, if they hear me say this now, I'm sorry that I'm taking this thought process that you taught me and not giving you credit for it, because I can't really remember who it was that told me this. I was in the media box one day, and they said that when you put yourself in situations at domestic level to score a lot of 100s and converting 50s to 100s, once you learn how to do that conversions, the more you learn how to do that conversions at the domestic level, the more you will, the easier it will become to do it when you play for the test side and for international cricket, because it's a mental thing, that barrier. If you have a history of scoring a hell of a lot of 50s at domestic level but never converting, and I think Rassi has that. He has a lot more 50s than centuries at a domestic level. There is a kind of a block there, and we can see that with Rassi. He hasn't converted yet at the test level. He's gotten close, but he's never gotten over that line. The more often that you're used to doing it, even if it is at a domestic level, it programs your mind, because you think differently when you're in the 90s or you're on that verge of converting. Now, a guy like Dean Algo is very good at doing that. His conversion rate is pretty good. He was very good at, once he gets into the 50s, most likely he's going to score a century. And it's because he learned that. He learned that all out throughout his career. He learned that a lot more at the international level. So you want to see guys like Reinhard van Tonder is learning how to do that. Every time he gets into the 50s, majority of the time he converts it into a century. And that gets programmed into your mind, and it becomes part of your DNA. Automatically you start doing that. I've got a caller waiting for me. I've got a Bye. I'm going to bring him onto the stream right now. Welcome to the show, Bye. How is it going, bro? Are you ready for me, or must I give you a few minutes?
Oh, no, I'm ready. Yeah, how's it going, Khalid?
No, I'm good, thanks, man. You enjoying the CSA T20 challenge? I know you can't really watch it.
I mean, the highlights are good enough, and Now I'm pretty excited now that the Dolphins have got 3 wins in 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, like you get to see the highlights, but it's not really many high scoring games at the moment. I think the pitches, like the pitches, are deteriorating as it goes along in Durban.
Well, not only that, and it's nice to see a lot of different spinners taking wickets. In fact, it's a great sign, especially since there's been a lot of question marks over how good the spinners are in domestic cricket and how good the batsmen are at playing spin. So I think it's nice to see so far.
Yeah, it's excellent. I think it was the perfect thing to do for us because we kind of preparing for India anyway, for the World Cup. So it's a perfect thing to give them opportunities in conditions that are kind of similar. We don't know which pitches are going to be prepared in the World Cup, and how, I mean, the ICC will probably put in situations where there's going to be neutral pitches, but you can't really, the humidity and all of that and the weather, that you can't really control, obviously, unless you're telling me that the head of ICC is Storm from X-Men. Otherwise, then you're going to just get the baseline. You got to get whatever you get when it comes to the weather conditions. So I'm actually happy that they're giving us opportunities to maybe test it. There's so many spinners, especially in the Dolphin side, that really test you. So it's good to see that nice balance in and getting opportunities you can spin. But let's get back into the main topic here, by. We're talking about who should replace Faf, and I currently said I think Keegan Peterson is the best option. If we're only going to make one change in that test squad, just a straight swap Faf out and someone in, then I think Keegan would be the perfect person in the side. If we're going to take two players out, for example, if you're going to play cut Rassi, for example, as well, then I will bring Reinhardt in as well. It opens up the opportunity now to be able to maybe just press the reset button completely and build towards the future, and then maybe have a Keegan and someone like Reina van Tonder. But I also feel, and I know I'm sitting on the fence by saying this, but Zubair Hamza, I feel, was really hard done by. And I think now that Faf is out to the side, it also could be another opportunity for him to put up his hand as well. But who would be your choice in the number 3 position for South Africa now that Faf's gone?
Number 3 or just a replacement for Faf?
Let's start with a replacement for Faf and where you would bat him.
Okay, if it's just a replacement for Faf, I would probably have to go with Keegan Peterson because I think he's got plenty of experience in domestic cricket. Now that he's switched over to the Dolphins, he's now playing at a test venue more regularly, and I think he's ready enough to take on the Test cricket challenge.
So if it was number 3, if the
it was
replacement for
number 3,
Faf, that's a number 3.
Oh, okay. Then if I had to think of another number 3, I would probably say Reinhard van Tonder because he's been consistently making tons of runs over the course of the last season and a half. So I think, I think Reinhard van Tonder, even though he's pretty young, I think he's shown that he's ready for international cricket.
So are you saying that if you take Keegan Peterson into the side as a replacement for Faf, where would you bat him?
I would probably have to say number 4.
Okay. Cool.
With Temba Bavuma batting at number 5.
Okay, cool. And Rassi at 3.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, cool. So I think that's what. Okay, so we're going for a straight swap over there. I would still bat Keegan at 3 even. Me personally, and move Rassi a little further down. But it doesn't really matter. You can always switch that around. But I think generally the consensus is Keegan Peterson. Let's look at some of the comments over here and what they're saying. Hamza needs to store runs first to get the opportunity. Thank you for that comment. Rassi can't convert 50 into big scores at the international level, whereas in domestic level he can't score big scores. Now, I was speaking about that because if you look at his stats, you'll see that he struggles to convert these 50s into big scores. He gets really good starts and gets half centuries, and then he doesn't really convert. And it's a mental thing that to take you over that line to get that. We've got just Cody that has put his squad. He says Markram, Alga, Rassi, Bavuma, Peterson, Quinton de Kock, Mulder, all KP to settle in by being cushioned around older guys before pushing them up. That's a brilliant point. I think that the best thing to do is to protect your young players. If you're going to bring a new player into the side, protect him first and foremost. Give guys the opportunity to be able to settle into the side first before you actually push them up the order. It's very dangerous just to push them up immediately. It's nice for them to just gain some experience first, and push them at 6. What do you think about that particular opportunity?
All right,
Maybe
so
Keegan Peterson further down.
okay, I think batting Keegan Peterson at number 5 wouldn't be a bad thing. In fact, if we look at some of the earlier examples, when Dean Elgar first entered the test setup, I think he batted number 6, number 7, and he played at that role for quite a few test matches until Graham Smith retired, and that's when Dean Elgar started to open the batting. And number 7, I think, was where he scored his first test century. So I think the middle order is like a good place to kind of develop consistency before you take on a bigger challenge further up the order. And I think as far as young players are concerned, I think part of this rebuilding phase is figuring out where these young players can fit and give them chances. And I think Faf's retirement has come at a pretty good juncture, because we're kind of in the process of figuring out how to rebuild our team, and I think this is going to be a key moment coming up.
Yeah, it's 100% true. I think Faf did the unselfish thing to retire now. Actually, I think it was an unselfish move for him to retire right now. I think because he could have just hung around there and batted longer and maybe had an opportunity, but he understands that at this point, with us not having Test cricket, that we don't have Australia coming down, there's now an opportunity for us to rebuild and reset with regards to the Test side. So it's actually the perfect time. Rassie Temba should be out from the side, give a chance to Keegan and Kyle Verreynne. I think Kyle Verreynne definitely deserves a chance in this particular side. I would even consider maybe him replacing Faf with it, because I think that people are like looking at the wicket keeping side as a bonus for him to be in there. Kyle's a very good batsman without the gloves. I feel Kyle can leave the gloves and still be an incredible batsman, because that's how good he is. So I don't think the gloves is a bonus for me with regards to Kyle Verreynne. I think, yes, he is the best keeper in South Africa. That is my opinion. But I still think that even if he didn't keep with the South African side, he'll still be an amazing batsman for the side.
I think it's a little bit too harsh on Temba Bavuma. I think especially since especially since how he did in Pakistan. He was one of the few that tried his best to hold the innings together, and I think at times he gets more criticism than he should. In fact, we've seen on multiple occasions, especially when we visited Australia a few years back, Bavuma did play a couple of knocks to save South Africa. In fact, helped set up a bigger score.
Yeah, there's so many times that Bavuma is the guy that takes us out of trouble, and that's become his role in the South African side, where I would like to see a team bat around him for a change. I would like to see him be the guy that is the anchor and people actually helping him out, and obviously batting alongside him, and him being the main person that is needing the support, because he's always been the guy that's supporting everybody else. I think it's about time now that Temba takes more responsibility, especially with Faf gone. I think it's time for Temba to take more responsibility. If he gets moved up the order and he goes 5 to 10 matches without scoring any runs, and he goes into a crazy dip, then we can maybe consider saying, okay, look here, Temba, this get dropped for a couple of games, go find your form in domestic cricket, and give a youngster an opportunity maybe in that particular side. But I think we're in this phase now where we can try new things. We should be brave and should test new things and think about the next 2 Test championships, not just thinking about winning in the next game. I think that's what's blocking us, because we want to win the next game, and that pressure is putting a lot of pressure on the coaches to select people that they feel is the best option, and they're always going to go with the more experienced guys at domestic level to give them that option. They're not going to try and test a younger guy because of the pressure to win. So we got one thing they should try to do.
You have an excellent point there. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to add to it?
Oh yeah. So another thing I wanted to say was, whenever these transitional periods come up, you need to clearly define a plan. Like, how are you gonna approach this? If you say maybe we're gonna do this, maybe we're gonna do that, you're not gonna make much progress. You need to say yes, we're gonna go about this way, and we're gonna stick to it. And even in the short term, you may not the results may not show up. I mean, there may be times when you just want to throw the towel in, but it's all part and parcel of the game. In fact, I know it sounds really cliche, but there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, well, we're hoping there is. At the moment, it's just a lighter. we're waiting for more brighter light to be at the end of the tunnel, or maybe a floodlight. One thing they should have tried to do is moving Quinton de Kock up higher than 6. It's not necessary. We have the talent in SA to play around with the options. It is true. We do have some. That's why I'm like, when I saw what happened to Quinton now recently and him struggling with his mental health, etc., I just thought, like, if he's happy at 6, 7, then bat him there, man. Like, if that's where he's happy to be, you want the Quinton Cock to be happy. That's when you're going to get the best out of him. We have enough talent in this country to be able to play 3, 4, 5. So we don't have to force Quinton to play out of position. We have that luxury in South Africa at the domestic level. So, yeah, anyway, thanks, Abba, for coming on the show. I think you are freezing up a bit as well, so I'm just going to continue with the guys in the comment section. But if you want to have a final say before you leave, just give a few things that you want to say.
Yeah, so I think Faf's done a great job for the Proteas. I know the stats don't show it, but I think he's been a very reliable workhorse across all 3 formats, and now that he's shifted his focus to T20 cricket, I think his experience will come a lot more in handy. In fact, I think I've always believed that he's a better white ball cricketer than he is a red ball cricketer. Yeah, other than that, I think I like to remain quietly optimistic about the Test side. Eagerly waiting to see how Keegan Peterson and Reynard van Tonder go whenever the next Test series is, and I think that should be that. Thanks for having me.
No problem, and thanks for coming on. I'll chat to you very soon.
Anytime.
So guys, we're back here with the comments. I'm going to go back to a few of them. I would have Bavuma at 4, Mild at 5, Verena at 6, the Cock at 7, which I feel will be great. What are your thoughts? That's an amazing lineup, to be honest. I wouldn't mind that team playing. And then have Keegan Peterson at 3, obviously, or Rassie. So if they're going to pick, I think about time that Keegan deserves his national call-up. He's been too consistent at domestic level, scoring massive runs in domestic cricket. He deserves his spot now. I think he deserves to be in the test setup. I think Cyril Evia is another opportunity, but I think he's more of a top order opening batsman. If he's going to take anybody's place, it's going to have to be Dean. Reynard is number 1 pick for Ravi. We know that. We saw your front cover. It's a pity you haven't called in yet. I would have liked to hear your thoughts on the show. Oh no, I missed the live podcast. Don't worry about it, bro. There's plenty more coming in the future. Another option would have been for Reina at 5 and moving Bavuma up to 4. Yes, that's also another opportunity. It makes more sense, but you'd also keep KP next in 9. I just think it's about time that KP gets an opportunity now. I do still think, though, now that we have had Zubair Hamza had an opportunity, I think Zubair needs to have another good season and get another opportunity at the test level. He's too good of a batsman to leave out of this South African cricket. He's just an amazing batsman. He just needs to find his form again. Future of Australia tour to South Africa, no one knows. No one knows, and that's the problem. I think that Graham Smith mentioned it in his press conference where he spoke about that the relationship is a bit wobbly at the moment with Australia, because I feel that they kind of feel that Australia lost their trust a bit again. South Africa lost their trust in Australia a little bit because of the way they did what they did. I think it was a bit uncalled for. When they're so worried about South Africa, they should be worrying about their own country with regards to that. And I think we've hosted a country already. We've hosted 2, actually. If you're looking at the women's side as well, having Pakistan here, we've shown that we can create clean bubbles and clear bubbles and safe bubbles for players to perform in. Look at the CSA T20 challenge. There's been no COVID scares at the moment. It's been a secure bubble. I know that one was in Durban. Centurion and Wanderers should have the funds and also the facilities to be able to put up a decent bubble there too. And I think it was just unfair and a bit insulting from Australia to cancel the way they did. What about the Ryder Rousseau? Good one. I don't know if you're making a joke over here, but a good one. Hassan saying Keegan. Yes, I think Keegan deserves his chance now as well. I would love to see more SAA tours. Me too. Foreign countries should shorten the gap between domestic cricket and international cricket. Yes, Graham Smith told us in his press conference when he was appointed that he wants to have SAA sides that are the second best teams in South Africa. Not the SAA side shouldn't be there to blood new players, young players. It should be there to have your second best Test 11 that you think is there. So whoever is the backups to the first 11, that should be the SAA side. I think naturally, because of where South Africa is right now in the cricket, majority of the youngsters are performing at domestic level anyway. I think there's not a lot of over 30s that are performing in domestic level at the moment. All the under 30s are performing. I'm talking about the 4-day cricket. Majority of the top 5, top 6 are all under 25s actually, 26, 25. So majority of the top performers at domestic level are all in their early late 20s. Not a lot of them are over 30. I think Sal Evius, is the only one that was in the top 5 last season that was over 30. I think the rest of them are all Grant Rulofson, obviously Keegan Peterson as well in his late 20s. You've got a guy like Eddie Moore that's reaching on 30. Kyle Verreynne and all of those guys as well, all very young guys. So naturally, the SAA side will be a young team. We got a non-cricket related question. I love it. Khalid, why MGK adapted or resurrected this punk pop genre with TTMD? Okay, so I think what he's done is brilliant. He's always had a punk rock influence in his career. Since his first album, Laced Up, he's had guys that are punk rock artists or rock artists that he's played. He's always played the guitar. When he was a kid growing up, he always listened to punk rock music and as well as rap. So he's always wanted to do a punk rock album. And I think he's done brilliantly with this. I mean, it went to Billboard #1 in its opening weekend. So I think he's done excellently with that. He will do a hip hop again. Don't worry. If you're a big fan of his hip hop, I'm sure he will do hip hop again. I don't think he will leave that. Is the MSL 3.0, would it happen or not this year? I don't think it will happen this year. Considering everything that's happening currently, I don't think it will happen this year. We'll have to wait and see. They do turn these, put on these tournaments in a quick succession. They turn it around easily and quickly. So we saw how quickly they did the 2.0 after there was a whole lot of rumors of it maybe not happening, and then suddenly, boom, they turned it on, and it was a successful tournament, a very good tournament. We'll have to wait and see how COVID disperses. Hopefully, it disperses now that the vaccine's available. I think the first lady ever, or the first person in South Africa ever, has taken the vaccine in South Africa. So we're waiting to see what's going to happen in South Africa now with regards to COVID-19. So I think that the consensus, to sum it up, the consensus amongst all of you is that Keegan Peterson should bat #3, should be the one to replace Faf. Where he should bat in the order is up and down. A lot of guys saying maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5, maybe pushing him down the order, maybe to protect him at first, to get him into the flow of things. But everybody believes that he is the worthy man to take Faf's place. So we're going to leave it there with that one. I believe that that's going to be the guy that's going to take it over. Dex is asking me another machine gun. Which one is your favorite from Tickets to My Downfall? Mine is Forget Me Too. This punk genre suits him better. So Forget Me Too is a brilliant song. I was very emotional on this album because I've been following his career from the beginning, and Forget Me Too is one of my favorite songs, but I still think that Lonely is unbelievable because of the message behind it. Shortly after losing his uncle and his aunt, the two parental figures in his life, shortly in succession with each other, he wrote the song about them. So obviously you'll hear he and you'll hear him. In the song, he's referring to his father, who he never had a relationship with, and only got a relationship towards the end of his life, actually. I think the last 3-4 years of his life, he started becoming more involved in MGK's life. And just as MGK started building a relationship with him, he passed away. So it's a really sad song about that. So please, guys, go ahead and listen to Ticket to My Downfall. I hope MGK gives me a meet and greet because of this, because I'm promoting him in South Africa. I've been promoting him in South Africa since I was in grade 11 matric. So that was a long time ago, guys. I'm not going to reveal my age. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to smash that like button, click that subscribe button, share, comment, and do all of those things. Click that notification bell for all future videos as well. I hope you guys can spread this so that we can grow. We're close to 2,000 subscribers. Let me help me reach that milestone, please. Don't forget to subscribe to the latest issue of the magazine. You get all the other issues free as well. Click on the link in the description and on the screen. Don't forget to go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your updates too. I really enjoy all your comments and everything that you guys have been doing. If you want to be more involved with Cricket Fanatics Magazine, and you want to be more involved in the journey that we're going on, and you want to be more hands-on with where Cricket Fanatics, how Cricket Fanatics Mag grows from a business perspective and as a community, then you have to go to our Patreon. Become a Patreon today. You can go in the link on the screen for that, and you can, or in the description, and you can become a Patreon so you can help us grow and get better content and get better people working for us, etc. down the line. So please help us out over there by clicking on the link. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. See you guys again tomorrow with another daily show. Take care.